Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Nier Replicant. So last time we fought the boss in the Eyrie, and when that finished we went into Emil's story. So let's carry on and read Emil's story. A klaxon sounds deep from within the bowels of the laboratory. Thick metal shutters drop down, sealing off the room with a series of dull metal thuds. Abort the experiment. Number 6 is out of control. Everyone, get out of here, now! Get out of here! The researcher's words are abruptly cut off as a massive hand materializes out of the gloom and lifts him high into the air. The researcher begins to scream. He screams and screams, the sound echoing off the walls of the laboratory, until the hand squeezes down, coating the room in a deep crimson hue. The rest of his colleagues stand in silence, mouths open, unable to process what they have just seen. Then a female scientist takes a step back and lets fly with a heartbreaking wail. But this is a terrible mistake, for the sound of her cry suddenly brings forth a monster in all of its terrible glory. Its body is a bloated corpse, its head a grinning skull. And it is massive, many times the size of a human. The head lolls from side to side as it tromps about the room on all fours, bringing to mind the wild manoeuvrings of some wretched starving beast. This creature, this thing, is experimental weapon number 6, also known as Halua. No, oh no, please stop. Oh God, save me, save me. I don't want to die. One by one, the maddening cries of the researchers are silenced. If number 6 understands their petitions, it pays them no heed, instead continuing its rampage of destruction and slaughter with a focus that borders on obsession. After an eternity, the screaming stops. The alarms fall silent, and only then does the creature make a sound, howling out with an unfathomable roar that echoes up and down the empty halls of the blood-soaked laboratory. It's a sound that curses those who had dared bring such evil into the world, and yet one that also seems to be pleading for help. Two sets of footsteps echo in an otherwise silent corridor in the first level of the laboratory. One set belongs to a young boy, his eyes blindfolded and his hands restrained. The other belongs to a severe man in a long white coat. The man drags the boy along by means of a long chain attached to a set of shackles on his wrists. Rubble is scattered here and there across the floor of the corridor, making the journey an exceedingly difficult one for the boy who cannot see. Excuse me? Could you please walk a bit slower, sir? I'm not used to being blindfolded, and... Rather than stopping, the man only increases his pace, causing the boy to stumble in an attempt to keep up. The last humiliation proves too much, and the boy finds himself unable to resist his fall. Without the ability to brace himself, he topples to the floor, smashing his head on a pile of debris and causing a trickle of blood to worm its way down his pale, frightened face. Agonized by the pain, the boy inadvertently opens his eyes, causing the falling drops of blood to emit a strange, crackling sound before transforming into tiny white rocks. Close your damn eyes, roars the man. Yes, sir, stammers the boy as he slams his lid shut. He hadn't realised the blindfold had slipped off during the fall, but now he keeps his eyes squeezed shut so tightly that sparkles appear against the black of his vision. The boy is Emil, also known as Number 7. He is a magical weapon whose eyes are capable of turning to stone anything that falls under his gaze. "Don't look at me," barks the man. "Never look at me." "I'm sorry, sir. I'm looking at the ground now, so if you wish to hand me the blind..." Instead of waiting for him to finish, the man extends one foot and presses Emil's face to the floor with a heavy black boot. Sir, stop. You're hurting me." "I told you to keep your eyes and your mouth shut, so do it." The man knows this boy, this weapon, could wipe him out with a single glance, and yet subduing him in this way gives him a sense of relief. After making certain the boy is sufficiently cowed, the man leans down, retrieves the blindfold and knots it tightly around the boy's quivering head. "Right then, on your feet, let's move." Emil staggers to his feet, trying to ignore the red liquid oozing down his face. The blood doesn't matter. The pain doesn't matter. All that matters is finishing the job they had set out for him to do. The second level of the laboratory is in even worse shape than the first. The environs are littered with rubble and rock, making the thought of a decent foothold laughable. When the man's eyes linger on a section of rubble stained a deep red, he has a sudden image of warm, gooey brownies slathered in a strawberry sauce. "Why? You know what that is. Why would you suddenly think of brownies when you know it? That's gross." His stomach lurches at the thought, but when he attempts to avert his eyes, they land on the remains of a human being rendered into what could only be described as paste. Exactly why you're not thinking about food right now. The man blinks. His mind goes strangely blank before attempting to determine exactly how many humans had to be sacrificed to create the scattered piles of flesh around him. After a moment, his thoughts simply cease altogether, as if his mind realises that trying to put such a thing into form is folly. You can go the rest of the way on your own," says the man in a voice much weaker than he wishes to be. "I mean, what does it matter? You're not even human. You're a monster." With this, the man spins around and dashes back down the hall. A helpless Emil simply listens as the footsteps of his erstwhile captor fade into the distance. Emil finds himself alone in a room with the stench of blood and death. I read that the wrong way around, but who cares? For a moment, he considers opening his eyes, but the thought of the horrors that await him quickly squash this plan. Instead, he stands still and listens intently. Eventually, a far-off sound reaches his ears. That's the howl I heard before. Emil resumes walking, using the sound of the distant voice to guide him, almost as if it was calling him home. By the time Emil reaches the third level, he is moving on memory as much as sound. His hands and face are covered in fresh wounds from numerous falls. But every time he thinks about giving up, his mind returns to his sister. We studied together. We ate cookies together. We cried together. We laughed together. And sometimes I was the only one who got yelled at. That's why I was never lonely. Our being together allowed me to stay strong. For Emil, his sister was all he had ever lived for. All he had to live for. So holding that feeling close to his chest, he presses on, one slow step after the other. Finally, Emil finds himself drawing close to a certain experimental chamber in the deepest part of the laboratory. The howl is very close now, and as he touches the switch that controls the door, he thinks about his mission. Number 6 is the ultimate weapon. She is his sister, and he must turn her to stone. The door slowly opens, revealing the massive interior of the experimentation chamber. After a few steps, Emil removes his blindfold and slowly opens his eyes. His sister lurks before him, but she looks nothing like the girl he once knew. Instead, he sees a savage beast crawling on all fours through the shredded remains of the researchers. As the thing that had been his sister stops and tilts its head in Emil's direction, he focuses his gaze on it. A series of soft crunching sounds emerge from the creature as his magic does its terrible work. First the fingers, then the hands, arms, legs, head. What little colour the beast once possessed fades to a dull ashen grey, and yet somehow it summons what strength remains and pulls itself toward Emil, one slow lumbering effort at a time. Wailing, the massive monstrosity closes in. Is she worried about me? Or is she coming to kill me? Emil feels prepared to accept either outcome. After all, this was his older sister, the person he loved more than anyone else in the world. Halua, The moment Emil speaks, number 6 comes to a sudden halt. Silence descends upon the chamber as the siblings stare at each other. I'm sorry, Halua, but everyone says you're too powerful. They say it's too dangerous unless I seal you away. I'm so sorry. As Emil watches her body begin to turn to stone once more, number 6 simply waits in utter, perfect silence. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The moment number 6's petrification is complete, her memories flood into Emil's mind. The two of them huddling together in the cold, all alone in the world with no one to protect them. All she wanted was to save her little brother. And yet, it was that little brother who in a sense saved her. The moment the petrification is complete, Emil sinks to his knees. A frozen sister and a little brother racked with sin. Alone in this cold cage, the two of them weep a single silent voice. It was our combined power that destroyed the Eyrie. Whole existences, entire lives, even their memories. We took it all. We took everything. My sweet gentle sister turned into a monster, and the same thing will happen to me now that I have her power. If my instincts as a weapon win out and destroy me in the process, if that power ends up hurting someone I love,
What have I done? I killed innocent people. I killed them all.
But you saved us. If it wasn't for you, we'd all be dead. We owe you.
But I...
It's all right. Really? Don't look back.
We had best be off.
Yeah.
Well, that's the next key fragment. So we're headed back to the village now, aren't we? Which I think we are. Oh. Very helpful. Oh yeah, that's just going to tell me to go to the northern plains because that's where the next map changes. It was nice getting an insight into Emil's
Maybe
thoughts.
Popel has found some information about the Shadowlord. Let's drop by the village.
Very well.
Let's do just that. Charge! Nearly started heading for that other bridge that isn't finished. That would have been awkward. And jump. Yeah, so we got our insight. That was the next additional bit, is the insight into Emil's thoughts after he destroyed the Eyrie. And we already knew he felt guilty about it from like the little cutscene we had last time. But that gave us a much more insight into the fact that he was the one that petrified his sister to save them, and how badly he was treated when he was there as well. I never expected them to have been treated well down in the lab, but kind of shows you the cruelty they were treated with. Now I don't remember what section's next. Have we fought the ship thing yet? I don't even remember where we reset to. I was hoping seeing the boss things would give me more insight into what I was supposed to be doing, but it did not.
Hey, Popela.
Ah, you're back.
Have you learned anything more about the Shadowlord's key?
I'm sorry, but it's going to take me some time yet.
I see. Well, can I take something off your plate in the meantime?
Oh, how about this? You know the ferryman with the red bag, right? Well, he's been skipping out on work lately. Can I ask you to go to Seafront and check on him?
Sure thing.
So I think this is where we go and find the shipwreck. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I feel that's what we're about to go and do. But like I say,
This feels alarmingly familiar.
Ha! I'm sure that couple is merely having another one of their inane spats. Let us do our utmost not to get dragged into it this time,
yeah, like I say, I remember certain quests, but I don't necessarily remember when we do them. So this may or may not be the one where you fight the ship. I simply don't remember. Why is this gate open and all the others shut? Did I ask this last time? Is there any reason for that? I don't know. There are a lot of shades around here. gonna fight him. I'm sure you figured that bit out already. By the virtue of I'm fighting him. Quick, keep him pinned down. This is my stupid cheese. Worked really well when I was in the Shadowlord's place. Don't go diving at me. That move is really annoying. Who's next? I'm getting better at dealing with the armoured enemies. Heavy attacks in the way forward against armoured enemies. That's for sure. I pick up so many items in this game, and I've no clue what half of them do, because I just don't use them. I'm a typical RPG player that picks up all these items and goes, oh, that'd be useful. I'll save that for a boss fight, and then I just don't. What did I get? I didn't even see what I got hit by then. I just started flying across the map. I didn't even see what hit me. Leather boots? What do I need leather boots for? Okay. Next. Can we deal with this one before we get to those, you reckon? Yeah. Oh yeah, these heavy attacks just whip through that armour. More leather. What are the leather boots for? No clue what leather boots are for. But that's true of 90% of everything in this game. I have no clue what you use most of it for. I should look at upgrading my weapons again at some point. But you need a whole load of stuff for that as well, and I just don't know where to get the stuff, and I feel like farming it is going to be a pain.
Yeesh. I don't think I've ever seen fog this thick before. Huh? What's that?
So that's the snippet of the postman finding the boat. I understand why it triggered then, but it kind of seems a bit weird that it would trigger then, because haven't they been missing for a while? Or did the postman only just find them, and everyone else has been missing for a while?
Oh God, it's over. My life is over.
What's wrong?
Oh, hey, I remember you. You're the ones who helped us out way back when.
Seeing as we've come all this way, I suppose we had best ask, what is the matter?
I had a fight with my husband, and he ran away from home.
Yes. You may color me utterly flabbergasted.
But it's all that idiot's fault. I was saving up a bunch of apples, and he went and ate 10 of them.
That's actually sort of impressive.
Well, sure, I may have lost my temper a little, but I can't believe he just up and left. He's been gone for a week now, and it's...
All right. We'll help you find him.
Really? Oh, Thank you so much.
Yes, unfortunately it's not good news though.
And here we go again. Shall we begin by asking around at the tavern like before?
Sounds like a plan.
Hey there. I'm looking for the guy with the red bag. You seen him around lately?
Really? Is that couple fighting again?
Yeah, the guy took off and hasn't been seen since. I take it this isn't a surprise?
Hardly. Their arguments are legendary. We're actually considering selling tickets as a tourist attraction.
That's just mean.
Anyway, I think he's from that village with the library. Maybe he went back home. I think his brother is a guard there or something.
Thanks for the tip. I'll see what I can figure out.
Say, you're pretty handsome. Care to buy a lonely woman a drink?
Yeah, I'm good.
He's not interested in her, apparently. Now we're gonna get another cutscene about the postman. I guess that because it was a weirdly long load time.
Hard to believe a ship of this size managed to run aground. What was that? Hey, is someone there? Okay, I definitely heard someone cough just now. Maybe it's one of those kids from town? But where are they? There you are. What are you doing here, kid? And who are you, anyway? Were you a passenger on this ship, maybe? Hey, it's okay. You don't need to be scared.
So we're learning how the postman met the girl who turns out to be a giant shade. I need to go...
To think that couple's petty squabbles have become something of an attraction for the locals.
Doesn't surprise me in the least. Seeing people like that puts a little spring in your step, you know?
You humans truly are a maddening bunch. Such buffoonery does little more than wear this old tome out.
I can understand why. It makes more sense now, though, why you've got to go backwards and forwards during this mission. It's because when you're playing it again in this, you get to see all these cutscenes. Which makes the whole back and forth make a bit more sense.
Hey there. How you feeling? Well, your cough seems better at least. Check it out. I brought you some bread today. Oh, easy there. Jeez, you must have been starving. Well, look, no one's gonna take this from you, so just take it easy so you don't choke on it, okay? So, what were you doing on this boat, kid? Actually, scratch that. First things first. I can't just keep calling you kid. You got a name? Well, this is going nowhere fast. Let's see. Louise. Yeah, what about Louise? I mean, it just sort of popped into my head, but what do you think? Guess you're okay with it. Well, it's nice to meet you, Louise.
Did we find out the kid was called Louise in the first playthrough? I don't remember. I certainly don't remember her being called Louise. But that doesn't say much.
We searched the southern plains back when the wife ran off too, right?
I believe we did, yes.
Lots changed since then. So it's kind of nice when we find something that hasn't. The fact that couple is still arguing almost fills me with, I don't know, hope, I guess.
If you ask me, that particular couple could benefit from a little change.
Yeah, they need to sort their arguing out, I think. I agree with Vice there. But hey, if they're happy, then fair enough. Talk to this guy quick.
Oh, hey, it's you. What's up?
You're related to the ferryman who carries a red bag around, right?
Yeah, he's my little brother. Haven't seen him in a while, though.
A shame. Have you any idea where he may have absconded to?
Not a clue. Like I said, I haven't seen him.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, but the last time I did see him, he said something about using his ferry to deliver letters. Maybe you should try talking to someone at the post office.
I guess we could ask the postman over in Seafront.
Just once, I would enjoy receiving a quest that can be solved in the general vicinity of the Asker.
Yes. One day. Can I have my camera control, please? Thank you. Making me stare out a door I don't want to go through. It's not helpful to me. Because I am going to save the game. And then, well, we're going to call this episode, then I'm going to save the game. Because you guys don't need to watch me save the game, because that's kind of pointless. So, next time, we're going to go back over to Seafront to talk to the postman. We'll no doubt get some more cutscenes to see the postman speaking to the shade he has named Louise. And we'll see what else we learn about what's going on over in Seafront. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button below, let me know what you thought in the comments, and join us next time for the next one.